How about we make some school cinnamon rolls? A lot of you have asked for that recipe, so here we go. First thing you're gonna need to do, you're gonna need to take 2 cups of all-purpose flour, put it in your mixer bowl. To that, you're going to add 2 tablespoons of instant yeast. 1, 2. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to mix that up in the mixer just so it's well incorporated together. While you're doing that, you're going to take 1/2 cup of sugar, which I've already put in here, 1 tablespoon of salt, 3 cups of milk, and 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. You're gonna put this in the microwave for, a minute, 30 seconds and start checking. You don't want this to get hot. You want it to get warm, but not hot. And the reason you don't want it to get hot is because when you pour this in with the flour and the yeast, if it's hot, it will kill the yeast, and so your dough will not rise. So you do want to make sure that it is warm, just not hot. So I microwaved this for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's warm, it's not hot. I'm going to put that in the mixer with the 2 cups of flour and the yeast that I've already kind of mixed together. You're going to mix all of this together, and then you're going to add 1 egg. Okay, so I've mixed the 2 cups of all-purpose flour with the milk oil concoction, and now I'm going to add 1 egg. Here's how my grandmother, that I call Mama, how she taught me to do eggs. She told me to not do them directly into the bowl because you might get a shell, so she always did it in something smaller and then put it in. So that's how I do it. And there we have it. Go ahead and put that in the mixer. Mix that up. After the egg is mixed in, you're going to start putting in 1 cup of flour at a time into the mixer bowl and keep mixing until you have 5, until you put 5 extra cups in there. You'll have a total of 7 cups in the mixer. So when I do mine, and there's a lot of debate about this, I scoop it, but I try not to scoop it too hard so it doesn't get packed in, and then I take a knife and I level it off. So here goes the first. After each cup, go ahead and let it mix together. Cup number 2. Cup number 3. Cup number 4. Cup number 5. I've mixed everything together. This is how your dough should look. It is kind of I guess you could say a soft, gooey dough. You want to put a little bit of oil on it, and then you want to cover it with a damp towel and let it rise. Let it double in size. All right, I lowered the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm doing next. But as you can see, this dough has doubled in size. So I'm going to punch it down. You'll want to put some flour on, or maybe some spray. And then you see that I already have flour on my baking table, which is clean. You want to use a clean surface. Then you want to take about half. You want to roll it out into a rectangle. Once we do that, after I do that, I will show you what's next. But it's important that you put some flour down so that your dough does not stick. When you put the dough down, you'll put a little flour on top so that your rolling pin doesn't stick. And I will be right back. You can see I have the first half of the dough. I have it rolled out. It is kind of elastic. You just have to keep working with it. Do the best you can to get it into a rectangle size. The next thing you're going to do after you do that, let me step away and get it. You need to melt 4 sticks of butter. That's right, 4 sticks or 2 cups of butter. I have melted mine a little much. I like it still to kind of have some consistency because I use one of those little brushes to put it on. You also, in addition to your butter, you need to have 2 cups of white sugar mixed with half a cup of cinnamon. Half a cup of cinnamon is basically the whole bottle. Okay, so if you don't like that much cinnamon or you want more, you can kind of, do it to your taste. But go ahead, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the butter all across here. I'm not sure you can really tell, but I have buttered this from edge to edge. I never leave any of it unbuttered. The next thing, we're going to take the cinnamon sugar and we're going to put it all over. I also never leave any open spaces because I want everything to always have a nice amount of cinnamon. So you just start putting it all over. The sound you hear probably is my dog. Why he's licking the floor, I don't know, but he does that. Now, you're going to let these rise again, but when you do get ready to cook them, and I'll remind you, your oven needs to be on 350. Okay, when you go to roll these up, I have seen this done 2 different ways. Some people like to cut individual strips using a pizza cutter and roll it up that way so that everything is a little more uniform and everything comes out looking about the same. Other people like to just roll the whole thing up and then start cutting with one of these. You just cut it into whatever size you want it to be. You're going to put it on a baking tray. Make sure it's greased. I used that baking spray that has flour in it. And then I'll show you what it looks like after I get it put onto the tray. So here they are. I'm letting them rise again before I put them in the oven. Remember, 350 degrees, you'll let them go 18 to 20 minutes. You can kind of check them along the way. Maybe they need a little bit more, maybe a little less. Depends on your oven. But you see, I got a whole pan full and I've got 2 little ones there too. So I will show you what this looks like once it comes out of the oven. All right, there you have it. Here are the finished cinnamon rolls. In the end, it made, let me see, 20 and then 2 really small ones. So maybe 21 if you count the 2 as a small one. I'm gonna let these cool slightly. Then I will show you how to make the icing that they use in the cafeteria. For the icing, you're going to need 1 box of powdered sugar, which is 16 ounces, so 4 cups. You're also going to need 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 tablespoon of vanilla. So that was all of that one. 3/4 cup of milk. And 1 stick of softened butter. So your icing is going to look something like that. It's a thin icing. I actually decided to leave the butter out. It'll work just fine. If you want to put the butter in so it thickens it up a little bit, that's fine too. You can either pour this right on all of the cinnamon rolls, or you could leave it to the side and let people put on however much they want. But I do want to thank 2 people, Miss Hester Dye McWhirter and Ms. Janice Peterson. Both worked in the school cafeteria in my hometown with my grandmother, my mama. They all drove school buses together, and that's where I got this recipe for the school cinnamon rolls. So if you want me to make more cafeteria recipes, give me a follow, share the video, all that good stuff. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All right, let me know if you want me to make more.